Let's do some movies and money now with our film critic, Erik Childress. Erik, there are some huge fans of 80 for Brady, even planning to see it a second time at the theater. What can you tell us about the latest box office numbers?
Of course, Angie. It was a closer battle than many anticipated last weekend as they overestimated M. Night Shyamalan's Knock at the Cabin and underestimated 80 for Brady. Now, ultimately, Knock did win the weekend with $14.2 million compared to Brady's $12.7 million. But here's the interesting thing about that. More people actually saw 80 for Brady, though it lost in overall gross because Paramount ran a special promotion with theaters advertising $8 for 80. Now, a lot of folks showed up to take advantage of these matinees, and as a result, more tickets were sold for the comedy with the screen legends than the director who thinks he is one. Though it is not going to take long to see a shift occur with these two films. Knock at the Cabin, which was the lowest opening ever for Shyamalan, which is still pretty impressive over a 20-year career, is likely to suffer some steep drops going forward with, at best, mediocre word of mouth. That will give the positive word around the adult scene 80 for Brady to elevate it and ultimately outgross it as it potentially heads for a $50 million haul.
One of the challengers opening up this weekend at the theater is number 3 in the Magic Mike series. Here's a clip.
Why are you in London?
I'm gonna put on a show at this famous theater.
People are numb, disconnected. We're gonna wake them up with a wave of passion they've never felt before.
Now, there is a backstory on getting this film into theaters.
That's right, Angie. Magic Mike's Last Dance was originally set to debut on HBO Max, but like the recent House Party remake, was sort of resurrected late last year and slated for a theatrical release, which, funny enough, marks a return to theaters for director Steven Soderbergh for the first time since 2017's Logan Lucky. Now, he has been doing films mostly for streaming services like High Flying Bird for Netflix, as well as No Sudden Move and Kimmy for HBO Max. But this is a return to the Magic Mike series after another director helmed Magic Mike XXL. Now, those films did a nearly combined $180 million domestically in theaters, but now we have to wonder if enough has been done to publicize this release. Audiences showed up last year for Channing Tatum in both The Lost City and the little sleeper hit Dog. If his fans are aware of this opening, it has a shot to be number 1 this weekend, but it is also facing some older but major competition for the same audience.
It's been 25 years since Titanic enraptured moviegoers, and it's getting a new re-release for its anniversary on the big screen. Will Titanic make some waves at the box office, do you think?
For all that we made of the Avatar sequel finally losing the number 1 slot this past weekend, it is very conceivable that James Cameron has the last laugh and reclaims it this weekend. In 2012, when the film was relaunched for its 15th anniversary in 3D, it grossed over $17 million in its first weekend. And it only finished third because it went up against the 4th American Pie film, and The Hunger Games was still going strong in its third weekend. But this year, I don't know if anything really has the stopping power to prevent another release of this landmark film hitting number 1 once again. Remember, Angie, this film led the box office for 15 straight weeks back in 1997 and 1998. That's a feat I don't think we are ever going to see again. And even if it only musters up around 10 million, I don't see 80 for Brady or Knock at the Cabin challenging that.
Thank you, Erik. We will see you next week.
Thank you, Angie.
Go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.